All right, so ready to dive into some AI.
Always.
Today it's vertical LLM agents. Everyone's talking about AI, but this is the stuff that's actually shaking up industries, like not just playing games, but actually doing real work.
Yeah, it's like we've been hearing about AI that can write poems and stuff, which is cool. But now we're talking about AI that's laser focused on doing specific jobs really, really well.
Yeah.
Imagine like an AI that can diagnose a medical condition as well as a doctor with years of experience. That's
Uh,
the kind of thing we're talking about.
Yeah, it's like giving AI a promotion, right? From intern to like expert consultant or something. And to see just how powerful this stuff is, we're going to dive into the story of this guy, Jake Heller. He's a lawyer who starts this legal AI company, Casetext, builds it up, and then boom, sells it for $650 million just as this whole GPT revolution is taking off. Talk about timing, right?
Seriously. It's a story that shows how to spot those billion-dollar ideas that, most people just completely miss.
So rewind to 2012. Jake's a lawyer, probably billing by the hour, the whole nine yards. But he's also frustrated. He's like, wait a minute, technology's made everything else easier. Why is legal research still stuck in the Stone Age?
And that's the key, right? The best AI solutions, they solve a real problem. It's not just about being flashy or whatever. It's got to actually make someone's work life better.
Exactly. So for Jake, that meant tackling those mountains of legal documents that lawyers have to wade through. He's like, there's got to be a better way. So he starts Casetext. His initial thought, let's build a Wikipedia for law. This giant searchable database where lawyers can share their knowledge.
Sounds good on paper, right?
Sounds great, but getting lawyers to work for free, good luck with that.
Yeah, talk about a tough crowd, right? I mean, those billable hours are precious. So plan A is a bust. But Jake, he's a resourceful guy, so he pivots. And this is where the long pre-LLM slog begins. And this is where Jake's unique skill set comes in.
Right.
He's not just a lawyer, he understands how to build technology, that combination, like gold, especially when it comes to these vertical AI agents.
Totally. So Casetext, they start building their own AI. They're focusing on natural language processing, which is basically teaching computers to understand like legalese, right? And they create some cool features. Like they had this system that would recommend relevant legal cases. Think Spotify, but for lawsuits.
Clever. But as Jake found out, building something just a little bit better than what's out there, that's not always enough to shake things up, especially in a field like law.
It's tough, right? Building something better, but it's still not enough to really disrupt things. But then GPT-4 comes along and suddenly it's like, whoa, game changer.
Total game changer. It's like, remember when everyone thought smartphones were just fancy phones? And then boom, they could do practically anything.
Exactly. And for Jake, GPT-4 was the missing piece, right? It's what unlocked CoCounsel, Casetext's AI legal assistant. And you know who really sat up and paid attention? Those same skeptical lawyers, the ones used to billing hundreds of dollars an hour.
Because here's the thing, GPT-4 could analyze like mountains of legal documents in seconds, right? Finding that one obscure precedent that could make or break a case. Even lawyers who love billing by the hour, they can't ignore that kind of efficiency.
Nobody can. So how did they actually build CoCounsel? Do they just like take GPT-4, give it a fancy name, and call it a day?
Oh, no, no, no. It was way more involved than that. Jake's team, they really went deep on this.
Yeah.
They studied how the very best lawyers work, breaking down these complex tasks like legal research into step-by-step processes.
So it's like they reverse engineered legal expertise and then basically translated those steps into instructions for the AI.
Exactly. And that's where test-driven prompting comes in. It's like giving the AI a pop quiz, making sure it really understands the law, not just spitting back information.
Test-driven prompting. I love that. So it wasn't just about having the tool, GPT-4, it was about all the expertise and data that Casetext had been building for years.
All those legal documents they analyzed, all the algorithms they developed, it all got poured into CoCounsel. That's the difference between a tool that works, maybe 70% of the time and one that nails it every time. And professionals, especially in a field like law, they'll pay a premium for that kind of reliability.
And pay they did. Thomson Reuters, they come in, they acquire Casetext for $650 million. Amazing story. But let's step back for a second. What's the takeaway here? Someone listening, they're not a lawyer, they're trying to build the next big thing with AI. What should they be thinking about?
Think about it. If AI can transform the legal profession, imagine what it can do in healthcare, finance, education. The possibilities are endless. And it's not just about the industries themselves, it's about the skills within those industries.
So you're saying this isn't just about lawyers, right? It's about taking any complex skill, like diagnosing illnesses or analyzing financial markets, even teaching and figuring out how to enhance it with AI.
Precisely. And that's what's so exciting. We're not just like automating tasks, we're talking about amplifying human potential. But it gets even more interesting.
Okay, you really got me thinking here. What comes next? What's after amplifying human potential?
Well, GPT-4, that was huge, right? But OpenAI's newest model, this O1 thing, it's like stepping into a whole different ballgame.
Oh, one, huh? Sounds kind of ominous, but tell me more. What makes it so different from GPT-4?
It's like this. GPT-4, it was amazing at language, right? Like a superpowered paralegal,
Yeah.
you know. But O1, this new one, it's designed for like actual reasoning. Imagine an AI lawyer that not only finds the right precedent, but also gets why it matters, why it's relevant to the case at hand. You can even use it to like build a strong argument. That's the kind of potential we're talking about with O1.
So it's not just finding the information, it's understanding the strategy behind it. That's kind of wild.
Totally. And Jake actually, he told this story about how they fed O1, a legal brief, right? But they'd messed with it a little bit, changed some of the arguments in there, made them technically wrong, just to see what would happen. And get this, the older models, they totally missed it. But O1, it caught those little changes. It cross-referenced the brief with like real case law, spotted the inconsistencies, and flagged the errors.
So it's like having an AI partner who's not afraid to tell you might be wrong. That's impressive and kind of scary, no?
Yeah. And it gets even crazier, right? Jake's team, they're trying to get O1 to explain how it's thinking, like literally think out loud the way a top-notch lawyer would.
Hold on, AI that can explain its reasoning? That's next level.
Right. It makes you wonder, are we just training AI at this point, or are we actually teaching it how to learn, how to think for itself?
Now, those are some big questions, and honestly, I don't think anyone really has the answers yet.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
But, like we've seen with Jake and his whole journey, the important thing is to at least be asking those questions. Who knows what we'll discover along the way, right?
Absolutely. So there you have it, vertical LLM agents. We've gone from lawyers struggling with paperwork to, like, billion-dollar companies in AI that can outsmart, well, almost anyone. It's a wild world out there.
And it's only going to get wilder. The possibilities, they really are limitless.
They really are. So that's it for this deep dive. Hope you enjoyed it. And remember, the future of AI, it's not about the tech itself. It's about what we choose to do with it. So stay curious, friends. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one changing the game next.